It is hot. Have a good one.
You too. Welcome aboard. Go ahead and find your house like all the way in. Remember the families that sit together, stick together. Once we're onboarded and seated, please make sure to wash those arms, hands, feet, legs. Doors will be closing there on your right.
Front row, guys. Amazing. How exciting. Let's see how many animals we get.
Hi, friends. If you can move your arms for me, please. Can you move your hand out of the way of the door for me, please? Hi, friends. Wash those arms, hands, feet, legs. Doors need to close. Thank you.
Oh, these are all the animals that we're going to be checking out.
Sante's on a warning. All right. Well, like we say here in the lobby, Twin Day. Twin Day means let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Combo, everyone, and welcome to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. My name is Tess, and I'll be your safari guide here today. Just a couple of quick reminders while we are ready to head off into the reserve. I'm going to ask that we all remain fully seated for the entire trip, keeping those arms, hands, feet, legs inside the truck at all times. That means no standing, no passing anyone side to side, and please do not hold anyone up in the air like Simba. I'll also ask as we make our way through the reserve, please remember that we are the visitors here and this is the animals' home. So I'm just going to ask them to keep our voices down, though please do not call with or shout out to the animals when you see them. You don't want to risk scaring them away from the truck. We want to encourage them to come closer. Speaking of those animals, though, you can see them on that animal spawning guide above your head. I'll give you an idea what animals we hope to find while out here on the reserve. But we're not guaranteed to find every single one of them. I'll do my best to point out as many as we can. We're going to start off here in the Aturi forest. Now, if you look directly ahead on that hill, up near the top, you may see some tan animals making their way. Now, those guys are the greater kudu. For the greater kudu, only the males will have horns, so all the ones you see here you can tell are female. A little further up with the red-brown fur and the horns, those animals there are the bongos, also known as ghost of the forest, for how difficult they can be to find out in the wild. But off on the hill to our right-hand side, back here is an okapi. Now, okapis have a stripe pattern there on their hind legs that leads many people to believe that the okapi is closely related to a zebra. Actually, the only relative to the okapi is going to be a giraffe. I know, kind of coming out of left field there. But giraffes and okapis share very similar skull structures, as well as long prehensile tongues. In fact, an okapi's tongue is long enough for them to lick their own eyes and ears. Down here to the left, laying along that rock wall, you'll see a sleepy black rhino. Black rhinos are unfortunately poached out in the wild for their horns. Many people falsely believe that a rhino's horn contains some medicinal properties. It's really no more medicinal than your very own fingernails. That's because a rhino's horn and our fingernails are both made out of something called keratin. Keratin can also be found in your hair. Just a couple things we all have in common with a rhino. But with that, my friends, it looks like we are going to be heading out of the Aturi forest. Now, our next stop will bring us down to the Safi River. As we make our way down to the Safi River, go ahead and keep your eye out on that water line. Just may be able to spot a hippo or two. Hippos themselves can be a little tricky to see as they spend most of their time underwater, with the hippo being able to hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. So it's actually not uncommon to catch a hippo sleeping underwater. Just like how we breathe naturally in our sleep, a hippo will naturally float to the surface whenever they need to catch a breath. Also down there to the right, find your seat please. Also down there to the right, you'll see those large white birds. Those are pink-backed pelicans. Named for a pink color they turn during their mating season. Where that pink color comes in, underneath their wings, along the base of their legs. Over to the the left, though, behind that island, you can see a small group of hippos. Hippos are one of those lucky animals that get fun group names. Now, a group of hippos all together is going to be called a float. So behind that island there, we're seeing a small floating float of hippos. Now, a hippo will stay in the water for much of their time, often as a way to keep cool. When above water, though, a hippo can regulate their body temperature in a way similar to us, in that a hippo will sweat. Now, their sweat comes out a bit oilier than ours. It also comes out bright red. If you look towards the waterfall there in the back corner, it looks like the water down there is also just a little floated. Also down here to the left, here you may see some Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles can grow to be 16 feet long and up to 500 pounds. Find your seat, please. Friends, I don't know if you realize I am a real person up here. This is a real truck. I am really driving. This is a real mirror. I can really see you guys. Now, crocodiles have great, powerful jaws. Jaws strong enough to snap bone. Their jaws do come in handy when it comes to raising their young. Here, crocodiles will take their eggs and roll them between their teeth. Doing so makes it a lot easier for their young to hatch. When their babies are still very small, the parents will even carry them around in their jaws as well, getting them quickly and safely place to place, kind of like a well-fortified minivan. Over here to the right, we'll be passing by a baobab tree. Now, baobab tree is also known as an upside-down tree. Taking a look at it, it's a real head-scratcher how it got that name. But a baobab tree will look like that for about 9 months of the year, doing so without its leaves to better conserve water there in the trunk. Now, the trunk of a baobab tree is made of a spongy material, and that spongy material allows it to hold thousands of gallons worth of water right inside the tree trunk itself. As we make our way down the hill here, we're entering the more wide open savannas. Here you can see the landscape has opened up quite a bit compared to what we saw in the Aturi forest. Whereas animals of the Aturi had plenty of dense vegetation to hide themselves in. Animals out here on the open savannas obviously don't have those same hiding spots. So this is where we'll start to see some of the larger herds and groups. As animals of the savanna find their safety more in numbers. Before we get too far ahead though, coming up here on our left-hand side, we are approaching a den. Now just inside the den there, you should see some African painted dogs. Now, the African painted dog is one of Africa's more prolific pack hunters. They work together as a team. Find your seat, please, ma'am. Sit down.
Sit down, ma'am.
Okay. Lots of animals coming over here to the left and right. Over to the left with the brown fur, you'll see the sable antelope. And off there to the right, one of the Maasai giraffes. You can tell the Maasai giraffe apart from other types of giraffe due to a more irregular shaped spot pattern that they have. Now, each spot pattern is unique to each individual, about as unique as a human fingerprint. That's not the only thing they have in common with the giraffe, for despite how long their necks are, giraffes only have about 7 neck vertebrae. It's about 7 bones there in their neck. Just so happens to be the same number of vertebrae we have in our own neck. Now, giraffes will use their long necks to reach up tall into the trees to get where all those tasty leaves are. From there, they make use of a long prehensile tongue. Go ahead and take a moment to look at your own arm. The giraffe's tongue is about the length from your elbow to the tips of your fingers. Now, this small smart-colored animal over here to the left, this little guy is called a springbok. Springboks are one of the smallest types of antelope. Don't let their size fool you though, they're also some of the fastest land animals. So a springbok can hit speeds of about 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's just under what a cheetah can run.
What can you say? The giraffe.
catching up to some more of that giraffe herd. Pay attention to how giraffe walks. You'll see that they shift their weight from one side to the other, moving their right legs in time, opposite their left. They do switch it up when they start to run though, moving their front legs opposite their back. Over here to the right, we're getting real close to the baby giraffe. This little guy is only a couple months old. Now, a newborn giraffe measures about 6 feet tall at birth, which is about even to where the armrest is here on the truck. Sure, elbows are about 6 feet off the ground. Past that baby giraffe, though, is one of the Hartman Mountain zebras. You can tell the Hartman Mountain zebra apart from other types of zebra due to a more pronounced stripe pattern they have there on their hind legs. Now here you can see some of the wildebeest. Wildebeest are some of the more densely migratory animals. As they begin their migrations across Africa, they can join herds together, following a number of about 1.5 million wildebeest. Some more giraffes off here to the left.
Look at that.
Giraffes will spend most of their day eating. Very little time is left over for sleep. In fact, a giraffe will only sleep about 30 minutes a day. At the top of the hill over here to the right, you can see the big long horns of the Colby cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle, named for the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. Over there to the right, there is an African elephant tucked back there. Probably get us a little closer. So far, I'm only seeing the one elephant, which tells me that might be one of the males. Now, male elephants tend to travel on their own or in smaller bachelor groups. The good news for us is that male elephants don't often go too far away from the larger families, usually only following behind by about a mile or two. So hopefully as we continue down the road, we'll be able to catch up to the rest of the herd in no time. And even some parts of Asia as well, elephants are considered to be pests. In fact, many farmers lose their crops due to migrating herds of elephants. I'm going to be honest, can't really say blame the elephant. I mean, they're just walking by, all they see is a free buffet. So it's up to the farmers to find a peaceful solution, not only protect their crops, also protect the elephants from harm. Based on some research done right here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, but it was discovered that elephants really can't stand bees. I know of all the things that would bother them, the tiny little bumblebees. So farmers placed beehives around their crops and found that that was more than enough to keep the elephants off their land. Now farmers were also able to sell off the honey being produced by the bees, bringing in a little extra income. Works out great for the bees too, since they're essential parts of our ecosystem as pollinators. So it gives the bees stable, more importantly, protected hives. Find your seat, please. Hi friends, rules haven't changed. It's still a bumpy road. Thank you guys. Oh boy. You can see a family herd off here to the left. Elephant family herds are led by their matriarch, the oldest female. Female elephants will stay stay within their families for most, if not all, of their adult life. Whole families will come together to help raise any young, too. Elephants have one of the longest gestational periods in the animal kingdom, meaning that an elephant is pregnant for almost 2 years. Now, a newborn baby elephant is going to be born at just over 200 pounds. By the end of their first year, they weigh well over 1,000. Here to the left, you're going to see a whole family of greater flamingo. Greater flamingo are the largest of the flamingos, but they're also the palest pink. Now, they're not naturally born that pink color. In fact, it takes them about 2.5 years to turn that shade. They get that shade of pink from the foods they eat, which are high in beta-carotene. Coming up ahead, we're going to be coming up to some white rhinos. White rhinos get their name not for their coloring, but for the Afrikaans word "wit." Wit translates to wide, which is used to describe their mouth shape. It has a more wide set square edge to it compared to a black rhino that has a more triangular and pointed upper lip. And over here to the right, see an ostrich. Ostriches are large, flightless birds. The wings are mostly used for balancing, to get a lot of their power from those hind legs. The ostrich propels to a speed of about 40 miles per hour. Makes the ostrich the fastest animal on 2 legs. Speaking of fast, coming over here to our left-hand side, you're passing by some nice shaded hillsides. Often a good place to try and keep an eye out for cheetahs. Cheetahs, of course, are known for their top speeds. They can hit speeds of about 60 to 70 miles per hour. In fact, they can hit 60 miles in just about 3 seconds. And they can't hold those speeds for long. Really more of a sprinter. They hit their top speed though, they'll use that long tail of theirs to act like a rudder, helping them make sharp turns without losing their balance. Fun fact about cheetahs, they are the largest type of cat that still has the ability to purr. Which means a cheetah can purr just like your average house cat. Here to the left, we're going to be passing by this rock outcropping here. Rock outcroppings like this are called copies. Copies make good vantage points for large predators. This often gives them good views over the savannah. Over here to the right, though, finding more of that white rhino family herd. See another one sitting there at the top of the hill. Looks like we're going to get up to a couple of them eating their lunch. Also over here to the right is a type of antelope called a water buck. Water bucks excrete a smelly, greasy substance onto their fur. Helps to keep their fur waterproof. Travel in family groups as compared to other types of rhinos that will travel more solitarily. So you'll often see a couple of them traveling together. Another one of the ostriches off here to the right hand side as well. Aside from the ostrich being the fastest animal on 2 legs, that's not their only distinction. They also lay some of the largest eggs in the animal kingdom. Each of their eggs can weigh upwards of about 3 pounds. See a nest of them down here to the right. At 3 pounds, that's equal to 2 dozen chicken eggs. Each of those eggs is incredibly tough too. One ostrich egg has enough strength to hold up the weight of an adult person. Which means that you or I could stand right on top of that egg and it would not crack. By that, friends, we are reaching the edge of the reserve. Now just up ahead is the warden's post. Now the warden has asked that we stop by to check in on the Nigerian dwarf goats. We're just going to poke our head in and make sure they're all okay. Very social, playful animals. They love to run, climb, jump, and well, maybe get into things they shouldn't be getting into, like move.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure the water won't even notice that one up there. These goats may look small, but this is their full adult size. They make incredible grazers too, as they tend to eat a lot of the grazing material left behind by larger grazing animals. If you would like to get a closer look at the Nigerian dwarf goats, I'd recommend heading over to Rafiki's Plant Watch. Hop aboard the Wildlife Express train, head on over and visit the affection section. I'll get you up close to the Nigerian dwarf goats, as well as some pigs and other animals that you can find in Pet World there. Or you can explore the animal hospital, which will give you a behind-the-scenes look as to how some of the animals here receive their care and get their checkups. You can also sit in on the animation experience, which is about a 30-minute long drawing class. That'll teach you how to draw some of your favorite Disney friends. But if you're still excited to see even more incredible African animals out here today, be sure to go through the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. That trail will take you up to the Okapi, so some underwater viewing for the hippos. Hey, if you're lucky, you might even run into the gorilla family that lives over there. If there are any Wilderness Explorer Scouts on board, any Wilderness Explorer Scouts, you are on board the Symbol 1. Symbol 1 is your code word to pick up your safari badge, so make sure to check in with that Wilderness Explorer Scout guide. Find them just past our unload dock at the fork in the road. Now, my friends, now would be a good time to double check your rows. Make sure you have everything you brought on board with you here today. Roads out there were pretty bumpy, so some items might have shifted or fallen out of pockets.
Thanks for watching.
It's a long walk back
Don't
to
forget
Africa
to
to pick up any
subscribe,
lost belongings.
like, and leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about this video. If you want me to do it over again,
have been a real
do
treat.
some more
So
animals.
there's just one last thing I'd like to leave you all here today, and that is cooperating